Reacher Season 2 ended recently, and my channel got a copyright strike because I did a video about the finale. And since the copyright strike was fake, it's been lifted. So I figured my first video back should be a full season Reacher review. So the fillators at 3 Ants DS and possibly Amazon can suck my sack. And here we go. Overall, Reacher Season 2 was really fun, and the writing was really mid for the story. The characters were actually good in the character work, and the dynamic and the banter, and the action was good all the way until the finale. But the story itself was really kind of haphazard in different places. Overall, not as good as season 1. Definitely faster paced, but the writing took a hit. So as far as rewatchability, season 2 might actually be more rewatchable just because it's so fast paced and there's action every episode. But I still think season 1 has the better story. And the kind of stuff that I'm referring to in season 2 for the story issues is mainly coincidences and contrivances. You have things like a guy who's paranoid enough to password protect his secrets and only give you 3 guesses, but then the password is Reacher's name, no numbers, no symbols. The fact that it's just a word or a name and not some crazy combination of numbers, letters, and symbols is dubious on its own. And the fact that they guess it within 3 guesses and it's that simple is like, okay, the story just needs to keep moving. You have that kind of stuff. You have where Reacher is like, oh, we need a car. And then he runs into the person he's looking for and they get a rental car together. And that kind of stuff is throughout the season. Obviously, the police are mentioned a bunch, but they're never really in play. But all the character work is good. I like the banter between the Special Investigations Unit in the past and the current ones that are with Reacher in the present. They all have their own personalities, their own fighting styles. They're distinct enough that if you were just to read the script, you could tell who was who without actually seeing it on screen, which is always good. The action was super fun. It's great. Simple, just to see a big ass dude beat the shit out of bad people. Obviously, I already made a video which has now been restored about the finale. And my critiques of the finale were almost all about the action because it was just so over the top. Full like 80s action movie. I compare the action in the finale to the rest of the season the same way that I would compare Live Free or Die Hard versus Die Hard, the first one. Or if you want a really shitty franchise, maybe Fast and Furious 9 versus Fast and Furious 1, where it just escalates to the point of beyond ridiculous because they just keep making it bigger. And it was really weird because the whole season stayed pretty similar in tone, pretty consistent with the action, and then all of a sudden he's jumping on helicopters and holding a woman's full body weight with a knife, you know, all the cheesy stuff. You still get the good one-liners, which is also very 80s and 90s. And the one-liners I actually feel like fit with this show tonally, but that finale I thought was disastrous, and I really hope that that was just the studio getting involved and next season goes back to the grounded stuff. Overall, a really fun show. I would definitely recommend it. There's not too much to spoil. The writing is very simple. It's very straightforward. Whenever they need to move the story along, it's like, bam, exposition right in your face, and then they move on. This is a spoiler, but I assume you've already seen the show if you're here. They created a character that wasn't in the books, from what I've heard. I haven't read them, and killed him off, which I thought was good. I liked his character. I liked his relationship with Reacher and how it developed. The fact that he died was nice to give the action some weight and like, oh, people might actually die in this show. I wasn't sure in the finale if all 4 of them would make it out. Obviously they did. And that's something that I kind of want to see maybe different next season if I was going to give a broader critique or criticism that someone important to him should die. Because now we've had 2 seasons where the people that he's close to for the season don't die. Obviously, you don't have to kill people in every show, but there does come a point where you have all these dangerous situations, and if no one significant dies, you go into it being kind of like, they're not really in danger, and it undercuts the action and the tension that could be there. Obviously, if you watch a show like Game of Thrones where you don't know who's going to die, every scene is intense because you're like, any character could die at any moment. I wouldn't say Reacher has to go that far, but it would be nice if they killed someone who mattered. And one thing I really liked about the action is that the women and men fought differently. Like Reacher is supposed to be big and just overwhelming, and he beats up multiple guys, while the women struggle with men because they're bigger than them, even though they're trained. And they use their high heels to stick them in their eyes, and they use knives and guns. And that's a good way to make the story feel real and the action feel realistic since it takes place in our world, even if it's an over-the-top story. I don't want to go too long with this. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend Reacher. They've already announced the season 3 and the book that it's going to be tied to, so I'm looking forward to that. I just want to do a quick review about Reacher, and I just wanted to say that I liked it overall. The story is kind of meh, but the characters and action are good, is the gist of it. If you've watched it, let me know what you think. I respond to all the comments that aren't just insults. Or at least I try to. Sometimes I miss them because of whatever weird shit YouTube's doing. My next main series of videos is going to be the Halo show, which I am furious at after the first 2 episodes, so you can check those out. Like and subscribe and all that shit. All right, thanks.